Acting head of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, Richard Thompson, says his team has established various programs aimed at ensuring the country is prepared to manage a natural disaster. He shared information on some of these programs and ODPEM's operational procedures at Wednesday's meeting of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, the PAAC. Simone Absalom Gayle reports.
Deputy Director General of ODPEM, Richard Thompson, who's also acting head of the organization, says his team is working on a communications project for all involved in disaster management.
That looks at building out a public safety network across the country. So where all of our first responders can communicate on the same platform. Critical in terms of our country's early warning systems and critical to the ability of our country to effectively communicate in times of disasters.
He says early warning systems are critical to the country's ability to respond and prepare for any disaster eventualities. The project will cost about $12 million. Mr. Thompson says they have also been working with the community groups and municipalities.
We would have also looked at aspect of shelter management. We would have done shelter management training. We have a series of activities to carry out further deeper into the hurricane season to ensure that we are still engaging the parishes and engaging the community group in and around our preparedness for the hurricane season. And so we would have done extensive shelter inspections. And those shelter inspections would be against COVID imperatives.
About 124,000 persons are projected to use shelters in times of disasters, and with additional safety protocols due to the pandemic, more money would be needed. PAAC Chairman Michael Phillips questioned that aspect of ODPEM's preparations.
The specific resources to raise the comfort levels while dealing with temperature checks and things like that. How is that, now that we are now into the hurricane season, how is that being financed?
A lot of emphasis was placed on looking at your sanitization process for shelters. And so a good part of our relief budget would have been placed in terms of looking at that and doing acquisition for that.
Turning to operational matters, the ODPEM team was questioned on the departure of Leslie Harrow from the post of Director General of the entity 6 months after he was appointed. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, Mrs. Marsha Henry Martin, explained that the position was taken under secondment.
Whichever civil servant is entitled to, consistent with the staff orders, and that is what happened, sir. And at the end of it, he indicated that he had a preference to return. With any system of succession planning, the ODPEM's Deputy Director General would normally and usually take leadership of the entity, and that is what has happened in this case. And the Deputy Director General is usually a technically sound person and would normally have the ability to carry on in this sense.
Simone Absalom Gayle reporting for the news on PBCJ.